Okay, so welcome back. When we left off, we had just done our second date with Hugo. And this time we're going to go on our second date with Matt, as that is who the randomized generator decided for us. And to explain the pun title of this episode, Mr. Cellophane, it's after the song also called Mr. Sella-phane by, in the musical Chicago. And, it's kind of obvious, but I'm going to state it anyway, based off, Matt's last name of Sella. So anyway, when we left off from our date, we got this extra scenario here. And so I'm just going to play through, and then we'll get to the date right after this scenario plays out. Just our vague, nondescript team. I don't know about anybody else, but whenever I go out, I usually have some sort of thing with me, like a backpack or a tote bag, and I always make sure to bring an umbrella with me, no matter where. So where I live now, and where I've been living for the past 2 years, is a really dry climate. We don't get a whole lot of rain here, but before then I lived in Japan for quite a while, and there's a rainy season in Japan, and it's supposed to last from like July until maybe mid-September. But it always seemed like my city's rainy season would start at the end of May, and we would just get, it seems like, almost 4.5 months of straight rain. So you learn to pack an umbrella wherever you go. But where I live now, it kind of surprises me that almost nobody ever has an umbrella on hand. Ugh, beer. Beer's, I hate beer, but I've discovered that if it comes in a green bottle, I tend to like it more than any beers that come in brown bottles or lagers. So like Heineken or Dos Equis. Dos Equis is probably my favorite beer if I had to drink beer. I can tolerate those, but when it comes to like brown bottle beers, Miller or Budweiser, it just tastes so gross to me. Beer always gives me like a really bad migraine anyway. So anyway, so we're watching the game here. Oh, it's Mary, the last person I really want to see. I don't necessarily hate Mary, I guess. I mean, I dislike her a lot, but there are certain situations in which she's really cool. Like when you're on Robert's dates, she tends to be pretty cool. But when you're on Joseph's dates, she's a complete, just mean person. She's so scathing all the time.
Ah. Hey.
I'd rather not say hi, but I guess I would. If we already made eye contact and acknowledgement, yeah.
Hey. Ah.
That's a good question. We're not far from her house. I'm not, I guess I've walked people home maybe once or twice. It's not something I like to do, but if it's close enough, I guess I would. But if it's farther away, then naturally I would call a cab. Something that gets on my nerves with this game, though, is so you have this walk Mary home scenario, and it's supposed to happen, at least, it was supposed to happen once, I think. But for some reason, a lot of the times, it'll happen twice. So for example, like if you go on Joseph's second date, and you've already had this scenario, like I'm having it now. If I go on Joseph's second date later, or rather when I go on Joseph's second date later, we'll get another walk Mary home scenario right after that date, and then she'll be entirely antagonistic toward us. So I'm kind of mad that the developers, I don't know, I think it's a glitch. I don't think it's honestly supposed to happen twice. But I feel like they should have just one walk Mary home scenario, and it occurs at random depending on, I don't know, something. And if you get it before you go on your second date with Joseph, it should be a congenial, or rather amicable scenario. And then if you get it after your second date with Joseph, it should be a little more antagonistic. Anyway, though, we're gonna walk her home.
Ah.
See, we're being completely nice to Mary. She has no real justification to be antagonistic toward us. We've never treated her badly. We've never been rude to her. We've always been really respectful. I don't know if personally I would actually ask that question. I don't feel like it's any of my business. So despite Mary hanging all over these other guys at the bar, she never goes home and sleeps with them. I don't know how much of it is just her playing around or her trying to test her own levels of discipline. You say that now, but saying it as a drunk person, it doesn't have a lot of meaning to me.
Oh. Huh? Huh? Hey.
What even would we drink?
Huh? Hey. Ah.
Welcome. You've got dads.
Alright, so now we get to go on our second date with Matt. It's actually a really smart idea. no, it's Pablo.
Ugh.
She seems so unthrilled to meet Pablo. I kind of feel a little proud of her. Not that Pablo's bad, as I've already said, Pablo's honestly not a bad person at all. He's actually very good. He just, his style bothers me so bad. Like, look how trashy he looks. No offense to Pablo, but you look like trash.
Huh.
Oof. My daughter is scathing. Jesus.
Ugh.
The thing is, I don't even feel like I have to protect Amanda. She can protect herself. And she's already doing a better job than we are. We're gonna go with the lines from Taken. He actually can type pretty fast.
Aww.
Now, I don't know if that answer with Pablo affects the date with Matt in any way.
Hey.
Huh.
That actually sounds good. If only I could drink lattes. So here we have more obscure pun names from bands that I've likely never heard of. The only one that I actually know is Death Cab for Cutie. And I've never honestly listened to them. But I'm not a big fan of decaf anyway. And the dad was saying he felt sluggish, so I wouldn't order decaf in any regard. I don't know what this one is. I don't like football. Father John Mister, I have no idea what that is. But it sounds like a London fog to me. So I think I'm going to go with that.
Ugh.
I mean, I can't judge the punniness of it simply because I don't get the reference. Is it really that? Is it? I mean, puns are a good form of comedy, but they're not that good if you don't know the reference.
Oh! Oh. Hey. Hey.
Yeah, like, I feel like Matt is the dad you can build a good relationship with the fastest. Unfortunately, his dates also are the shortest.
Hey. Hey.
I feel like I would like record stores. I've never listened to an actual record before. It seems cool though. I think people buy it for the nostalgic factor.
Hey.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone actually say that, but then again, I don't talk to people who really collect records.
Hey.
I have to agree with that. Like, I still like to get my music on CDs, despite, you know, just being able to go to iTunes or whatever and just get it directly, you know, in digital format.
Hey.
Which, as I think about it, this is probably the exact same thing as buying a record. Except for, you know, CDs aren't 30 years out of date, almost 40 years out of date. Thing is, I even remember cassette tapes. Like, I'm old enough to remember the cassette tape era pretty well. At least a good 10 to 12 years of the cassette tape era.
Hey!
It's true, mixtapes were a lot cooler back then. I remember being like 11, maybe, and my friend had CDs. Like, CDs were out at that time, but cassettes were also still pretty popular, although they were waning. And we made our own radio broadcast. We had a cassette recorder, we took a cassette tape, we took some of the CDs he had, like No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom, 9 Inch Nails, Sublime. Those are the only ones I can really... Oh, Aqua, you know, Barbie Girl. Those are the ones I can really remember. And maybe Red Hot Chili Peppers. And we just made a mixtape, like a mock radio show of us, you know, being radio announcers and radio DJs, and playing those and creating a mixtape out of it. And it was just really cool. I don't know what half of this is. Nunsploitation? That sounds like a porno genre to me.
Oh.
Oh. Well, I don't think my actual answer's on here. Well, I know it's not on here. I can see it's not on here. Because personally, I like banana milkshakes. But I would go with cookies and cream.
Oh.
Well, these seem like real scents, but like half made up with something else. Probably Daffodil Mountain Spring.
Hey.
Ooh. So I do like the Star Trek bridge ambiance. But if I'm gonna be natural and realistic here, it's rain. Not my backyard, definitely not the inside of an active volcano. Like I said, this game has a lot of references to Ibiza, and I don't know why. I think it's an island in the Mediterranean, which might be a choice, but the idea of visiting the Baltics is really exciting to me. Like, I really like Europe. Just all sorts of parts of Europe. So I like the Balkans, I like, you know, the Alps, I like Scandinavia, and the Baltics is, you know, around Lithuania, Latvia, Belarus, Estonia, around that area. So I'm going to say the Baltics. It's probably not going to be listed here, but let's see. Yeah, none of those are my biggest fear, which is failure. But I think the biggest one which would apply is the fear that I don't deserve happiness and won't ever get it or achieve it.
Huh? Hey.
I love how he can deduce what a perfect record is for somebody based on those questions. Oh hey, I never noticed this. The Dover Ghost. Wonder if Robert knows. So no matter what answers you choose for this part, Matt will always bring back this record by The National, no matter what. So at this point, I kind of wish that the developers did, you know, kind of customize this scene a little bit more, like make it where Matt gets more than just one album, like depending on what your answers were.
Hey! Oh! Hey!
Geez, rude much?
Oh.
I've actually heard of somebody who did that. I just find that type of behavior highly embarrassing.
Hey! Hey! Oh. Oh, man. Hey!
Oh, come on, we would love to go.
Hey! Hey! Hmm.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like, it isn't always with music for me, 'cause I'm one of those weird people who doesn't listen to a lot of music in my free time. But I definitely feel this sort of thing when I play certain video games as well. Like, I can remember playing, like, Minecraft or something, and I'll be building something, and I'll just remember exactly what I was thinking about when I was building that certain thing. So it transcends more than just music, but it's definitely a very interesting phenomenon.
Hey. Hey.
Unfortunately, I can't really relate because I've never been to concert. I don't know, I would be a little hesitant to bring up that conversation topic because what if Matt doesn't, you know, partake in that? Then it would just be really awkward for both of us. And then it could evolve, I mean, I'm making this way deeper than it is, but then it could evolve into like a racial thing. Like, oh, are you asking me this because I'm black? You think I smoke pot because I'm black? Now, I don't think it would get there, but in real life, it's a possibility, you know. So it's not a question I would broach with somebody unless I knew them pretty well. And I'm just getting to know Matt. I don't think I would know him well enough at this point to ask that sort of question. But that's just me. I mean, maybe he's fine with it. Or maybe he would be fine with it if it was real life. Yes, it's still called that.
Hmm. Hey.
As I mentioned in my first date with Robert, that I don't really have anything against people who do, but it's not for me. Like, I have enough allergies as it is. Smoke just aggravates my allergies, and I hate the smell of it. To me, it smells nasty. It smells like a skunk to me. So Normally, I think I would say no. However, I don't know. I want to, I like to consider myself an open-minded person. And so if Matt seems like he's down to do so, then, you know, why not? I know ultimately that pot isn't harmful, so there could, you know, if it was crack cocaine, you know, I would have to definitely put my foot down though.
Hey. Hey! Hey, dude.
Besides, anyway, though, doing this part of Matt's date actually gets more dialogue with him and provides one of the funniest scenes in the game, in my opinion. Like, I'm all for the legalization of it. In fact, I kind of wish it was legalized everywhere. That way it could be taxed. And I'm going to explain that just a little bit more. So, where I grew up, weed isn't legalized. It still isn't legalized to this day. And I grew up with friends who did, you know, they smoked pot, or their siblings smoked pot, and, you know, I was in close acquaintance with all of these people. And I've seen it almost ruin their lives sometimes. Like, my best friend in middle and high school, like his younger brother, who's only 1 year younger than I am, he got caught with possession of pot, and, you know, he was a teen, so he was underage, he was a minor, but, you know, he didn't go to juvie for it, but, you know, he had to do community service. It's stuff that could easily ruin his, you know, any sort of career building for him in the future, depending on what he decided to do. So that's why I think it's always kind of stuck with me that I'm kind of like, I keep my distance with it, because I've just seen it almost ruin so many people's lives because of people's closed-mindedness about keeping it, you know, illegal. I mean, there are definitely worse things that need to be illegal, or worse things that need to be policed more than, you know, recreational and harmless, to add that, usage of marijuana. So,
Hey!
but that's gonna be my my rant for the day.
Huh?
Mr. Drugman, oh my god. The Dad Zone has moments of being really cool, and this is definitely not one of them. Oh, it's Lucian.
What?
The thing is, like, Matt just told us, or told me rather, that weed has been legalized in that state, which they live in Massachusetts. So, being a seller, I think Lucian would know that. I know nothing about drugs, so this is gonna fail if I try. I don't even know what this means, so I guess I'll just show him I'm not wearing a wire. And we're gonna give Matt a show. You don't like my dad vibe? What? I love this part. How much do you want? One. One what?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He means weed, Lucian. Yeah, but how much?
Oh.
One? They're so out of it. I mean, I've never... Well, I take that back. I'm on the fence. Like, at times, I want to say I've never smoked pot. However, one time when I was 18, I did try to, but it was like I didn't feel anything. And we were smoking it with like, I don't know, 3 other people. So it was me, my best friend, and maybe like 2 or 3 other people. And at that point, the blunt was so short, there was nothing left. And so, because I was in the environment, I guess I could say I tried it, but having felt the actual effect of it, I've never felt it. So in that sense, I've never tried it. But anyway, the point of that story is that even if I don't know drug lingo, I know the term a dime bag, and that's about all I know. I don't know anything else beyond that, or maybe a gram. So I know those 2 terms. And so that's all I would probably be able to convey to Lucian.
Hey, dude.
I love how right now it smells like genuine drugs. As if he really, really knows what that smells like.
Hey! Hey.
He's so awkward about this. So, this is the inside of Matt's house, which is interesting to me because it's a house, but it really looks like an apartment loft to me. I mean, you have cinder brick walls, you have, loft-ish space. It really looks like, a penthouse loft apartment as opposed to a house.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
Hey!
Oh, gee, this is so embarrassing. Weed cigarette. Blunt. Like, I'm already uncomfortable enough around marijuana. But you guys are making me, even you guys are making me uncomfortable. Personally, I hate the word nug. I just think it sounds terrible. It's a lame one. Oh my god. Oh, it sounds so funny though. Yeah, let's do that one. Potent.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, I already knew this, but it's just so funny. You don't smoke meth in a cigarette form. Or at least I don't think you do. I've never done meth. I couldn't honestly say. I thought meth was one of the injectable ones. Or is that the one you smoke in a pipe? I'm so drug illiterate. I have no idea.
Hey.
Look how Matt has one eye closed. Like, he's just that disappointed.
Hey.
I think it's a glitch. I really don't know.
Hey.
do find it a little odd how he expresses this, though. He says she was Kamensita's mother. He doesn't say that she was his ex-wife. I mean, I guess it's implied, but I don't know. I just feel like he would be like, oh, that's Rosa, my ex-wife. She was Kamensita's mother. Maybe they never got married.
Oh.
That's so sad.
Oh. Hey. Hey. Yeah, sounds great. Hey.
I've always wanted to learn how to play piano simply because I've always wanted to play the Moonlight Sonata, and that was like really my only ever motivation, which, because that was my only motivation, it quickly died. But I did used to have a keyboard, and I learned Swan Lake. I mean, I couldn't play it now because it was a light-up keyboard, and so I just memorized the keys through the light-up method, and I could play it without keys lighting up, but it doesn't mean I know any of the actual note reading. So, yeah, it was a dream, although short-lived.
Oh.
So the interesting thing is everybody, like, this is a common thing to say. It's like, oh, anyway, here's Wonderwall. I don't know if I've ever honestly heard Wonderwall or really listened to Oasis. So we're not going to go with that one. We just talked about ska, so we could go with that, but I feel like classics are easy. Okay, I do know how to play chopsticks. He's so... This is the thing about Matt, though. Like, where Hugo is shy, Matt isn't necessarily shy. He's just... I'm trying to think of the word for what Matt is. Self-defeatist, I think.
Oh, man.
It's like he has no confidence. I don't necessarily want to push him, but this is like a light push to me. So you never do hear the song, at least during this date. I don't remember if you hear it the third date or not. But I really wish that the developers had put in some sort of melody, piano melody for us to listen to, because that would just really give Matt's character so much more depth.
Oh. I mean, I don't know if I should. Oh, man. Hey. Oh. Hey. Hey.
Heh. Huh? Hmm? Hey.
Oh, you got dad joked.
Huh? Huh. Oh. Hmm. Hey! Heh. Hmm.
You know, if you want to come inside, Daft Punk is playing at my house tonight.
Somehow I don't believe you, Matt, but we'll come inside anyway because you are a very sexy piece of man. Looking at just the date stats though, like I kind of love that this one's here. You know, it's not 420 because it was oregano, so it's 520.
Welcome. You've got dads.
Anyway, so that ends our second date with Matt, and next time will be a new second date with another dad we haven't gone on a second date with. And who that will be, I'm not sure yet. I'll put it in the randomized generator and I'll find out. Anyway, thanks for watching.